Welcome to the second Cybersecurity Connection episode with a live recruiter. Each and every night, I will bring to you, the viewer, a new nightly guest host. Tonight's guest host is Don Underwood. Over to you, Don.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Justin, for having me on. My name is Don Underwood. I am a senior IT recruiter for Engine. What we do here at Engine is we provide technical talent to large employers in the Pittsburgh and surrounding areas on the eastern seaboard of the country. And in addition to providing experienced and proven experts in software engineering, data and systems engineering, as well as cybersecurity, more and more we're finding it necessary to inform and help grow the development community along the lines of how serious cybersecurity is and help promote young professionals within the industry. Our enterprise customers vary in healthcare, government, finance, retail spaces as well. And they're finding it very hard to keep up with the demand for cybersecurity because it's always an evolving and changing landscape. And the more people, the more brain power you have to protect our information and who we are as people is very vital to this day. Engine helps our customers build and strengthen the bridge between formal education and professional opportunities while keeping a good finger on the pulse of evolving needs and the hiring trends of some of the industry's most notable companies. So we do have, if you do join us as a Engine employee, we provide some education opportunities for you to keep enhancing your skills in the cybersecurity sector as well. We are currently hiring for a number of needs, some local to Pittsburgh. One in particular would be a SOC Security Operations Center analyst. We have some vulnerability management positions, an assessment along the lines of data governance, as well as a hands-on network security administrator / engineer role. So we have a mix of both your cyber positions as well as your technical positions as well.
So, Don, at this time, I wanted to touch base on a couple topics before we jump into those three roles that we will discuss a little bit more in depth, so that we know exactly who should be applying tonight, or kind of like the mix, So, as your recruiter, let's say I am on LinkedIn and I have my profile built out, and you're searching for these positions. What do you kind of like look for on a profile, like right away, like in the first 10, 15 seconds?
Well, sure. Obviously, you want to brand yourself how you want to see others people to see you. So if you're trying to break into, like, say, a vulnerability management or an incident response professional, obviously you want to display keywords not only within your body, your bio of LinkedIn, but throughout the page, so that way you get more hits for when looking for that keyword. So say, for instance, you're looking for I'm looking for Qualys. Specifically, this is the tool that we have. Obviously, people who have direct Qualys experience get a little edge more than others. So you will want to include Qualys Guard in whereas you can, even in the body of your specific position, and what you do with Qualys. Not just hey, I use scans with Qualys and maybe also enhance reporting capabilities or do whatever. Try to throw out a little detail. Also, if you have touched upon other technologies that are cyber related, then put them in there, and that way it gives you more opportunity to be seen by other professionals like myself and hiring managers as well.
So I can't stress that key part that you did say is that there's keywords that people are searching for every single day, and will actually populate those certain profiles. So adding keywords to your body, to your bio, things like that, should generate you'll populate more on searches, correct? That's what we're
Oh,
kind of getting to?
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
And if you
Yep, go ahead.
I was going to say, and if you don't have direct experience with a particular technology, obviously build your show exactly like, hey, vulnerability management and then throw in other technologies that you've either played around with directly on your own or through a class or whatever. This way it shows professionals like myself that you're serious about the industry and you wanting to make this a career, not just a job.
And with that, we will be fielding questions, so please ask questions in the live chat box. But we're going to jump right into the three jobs we're going to discuss. But there are other jobs. So the very first one we're going to talk about is that SOC analyst. Don?
Mm-hmm. So the SOC analyst is a great entry point for professionals who are just getting out of school or may have had a few classes here and there. So in the cybersecurity world, I always seen this as the first line of vision toward any threat that's coming out there, whether it be internal, external, within databases, within applications. So in this role is basically we're looking for someone who can keep educating themselves regarding what's new in the threatscape. If there's any blogs that they read or follow a Twitter feed or whatever and keep up to date, even with new government releases on anything's going on. So generally speaking, they're looking for weaknesses throughout an environment, and you'll need to have a strong understanding of network infrastructure, whether it be Windows, Linux, Unix. Maybe have some understanding of what it means to do pen testing, respond to alerts or events or incidences that may pop up, within the scans itself, and maybe do a little digging to find out if it's a real threat or if it's a false positive threat as well.
Okay. And also with that, the hold on one second.
No worries.
So this is more geared to like a junior role, that type, correct?
That is accurate, yes.
Okay. So someone with a small background in the field could apply for this position.
Absolutely,
okay.
Yeah. We are generally looking more for good behavioral soft skills.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is someone who is constantly learning, who can take what they've learned already and apply it directly into the field. So that strong understanding of network and desktop server technologies. Know what intrusions are. know what a hop is and a disconnected hop, and maybe even work things backward through Wireshark or something like that to figure out, okay, where are we tracing at? Where's this taking us? And then obviously escalate to the next level if it is warranted.
Okay, awesome. So let's go a little bit more and we'll step it up to a senior role. We have that senior analyst cyber risk assessment.
Sure. So in this role, we're looking for someone who not only has direct cyber experience, someone who may have even been a CIRO would be very helpful, or have a C-risk or CISA certification, more CISA. But yeah, this person will be working across multiple departments. So there's those behavioral skills again that comes out, and that's more prevalent in cybersecurity that I found in my career. Is I could sit there and watch the scan all day, but if I'm not able to communicate or perhaps influence the development team or the network team that is responsible for the application or the firewall, and my message is just dead. So in this role, they're working specifically with different applications regarding vendors, third-party vendors, to figure out, okay, what data are we leaking to our vendors that could be a threat. So obviously, someone who's had third-party governance experience, CISA, C-risk would be a very helpful thing as far as industry certifications. 8 to 10 years experience is preferred in my opinion of this role. But honestly, if this person does have that polish and able to partner with multiple levels of the organization, that would be very beneficial.
Okay. And let's kick it off to the next one, and then after that, we can start taking some questions. So
Okay.
the next one we have is that network support engineer that we discussed.
Actually, could we get the network information security
Network information security.
infrastructure security administrator?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, I think my video froze. Did it freeze on your end?
Yeah, it did, but I was rolling.
All right.
With it.
We're just rolling with it then.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just go with it with my eyes closed. So this is more of the hands-on role, right? So in my world, I see things. Cyber is more partner related, more information gathering, seeking, identifying, limiting threats, etc. But there's also the hands-on side of things. So this is where our senior network infrastructure administrator / engineer comes into play, because they're handling the devices directly. So anything with firewall, Cisco obviously is a big thing for our client right now. Understanding routers, VLANs, encrypted tunnels, any type of encrypted technology or wireless technology is going to be very helpful for this person in the role. So that true hands-on network security engineer is very vital in helping us identify the right person for this position.
Awesome. All right, so at this, we're going to kick it over to the questions. Actually, what I will do is make it easier on you, is actually bring you in the questions.
So I'm going to try.
I'll make this
video.
Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so the very first question Doran had, are there any part-time openings that would be available, as I am currently in school, so can work as part-time only? I don't think you have part-time jobs at your location, do you?
Yeah, not right now. We don't have part-time, but I would encourage them to find out if they can get an internship through their school, whether it be paid or unpaid. That would probably be the best opportunity for anyone that's in school to want to gain some knowledge and experience in the industry.
Okay, and the next one I have is Milo asks if there's positions outside of PA. I think you said you had a New York or something like that.
Yes.
Opening.
Yeah, we have a number of positions that are in the New York, or New Jersey area and DC, along with areas in Virginia and potentially Ohio.
Yep. Okay, and then the next one I had is Solid Host Design. This is a good one. All right, and I probably see this a lot. So he says, I'm finding the vast majority of SOC jobs are asking for 5 years experience. Is that what you kind of see throughout the trend, or what are you seeing?
Generally, yes. However, I always think that 5 years, but if you have some of the direct soft skills and maybe even you're working on the same platform, whether it be like Wireshark or Nessus or any other SOC type tool, that'll still get you a look. And even then, if you want to network with the hiring manager or take a look on LinkedIn to see who is all on that SOC team and ask them for pointers. 9 times out of 10, they're being hit up by a recruiter. Coming from another peer-to-peer might be refreshing.
Okay.
So that would be something that would be pretty fun.
Okay, and his name was actually Bob. He gave me that at the end. So next one is Chris. So he says, how can you show that behavioral skills on a resume, as we discussed earlier? And what are some key indicators of those skills on that actual resume?
Sure. So how can you demonstrate behavioral skills? Look at your action verbs whenever putting it on your resume. So something like led a team through this, or let's see. So we got to lead a team or demonstrate a capability through this. Figure out wordage around picked up a new technology and applied it toward this project, and this is the result. So as much as you can, take those action verbs that are classified for learning, weave them in. A resume is always a working body and a living body. It will always change. So do the best you can, experimentation, and hey, if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn and share your resume and ask for something directly, I'm always willing to help out anywhere I can.
And that's another key note. That's another reason why I'm bringing on new guests every night, is so that you can have a wide range of people to actually link with and communicate with. And Don, I thank you for mentioning that.
No worries.
Because I think a lot of people, they get on and they don't know where actually to kind of go or be seen by. So I think that's a very vital link to have with someone. Even if it doesn't land them a job with you, you're still reaching out saying, hey, we're going to help you, on this path. So
Absolutely.
I thank you again for that. Jack, hi. Do watch the recording afterwards. Doran did ask about the entry-level jobs. So I am showing you on the background the SOC analyst position we discussed a minute ago. That one is a junior role. If you are in the area, you qualify.
Exactly.
Of course, you have to have a few little other things, but yes, that's a junior
Right,
role.
yeah.
Okay, so I don't think you deal with active clearances, Don. Do you?
Now, our roles, even though we do work with government or entities that work directly with government, my opportunities right now are streaming more in the private sector.
Yeah.
So clearances are not required. Obviously, it's beneficial, but not required.
Yeah. So James, can you tell me where location you're at right now, or what you're targeting? Because if you start going a little bit more away from the DoD sector or the three-letter agencies, you're not going to see a lot of requirements for active security clearances at any level.
Right.
So I guess it's more the location you're at and what's heavily around there. So the next question I had is, yeah, we don't have any sponsorships with this recruiter. In the future, I will have recruiters on that have clearance-based jobs. So it's always going to be a mix of what they have to offer and at what level. So again, that's just what we're going to have each time.
Exactly. And if I can interject real quick, Engine will provide sponsorships for obviously the right opportunity and the person who has the best qualifications. So we do our best to find the right candidate, whatever help they need or don't need as far as being eligible to work for any employer in the U.S.
I knew I was going to eventually get this question. And thanks, Nate, for that about the whole keywords. Milo did ask about the SOC analyst position, currently located in Tampa and willing to relocate, and asking if they qualify. The best answer I have, and I'll let Don answer it next, is connect with Don.
Exactly.
If you don't see his link below, message me on LinkedIn, and I'll give you his contact information. Reach out to him tonight. He's on right now. And just he can take a quick little look, and then maybe over the next few days see if you are that fit for that position. Is that kind of what we're looking at, Don?
That's exactly it. Yeah,
that's the whole point of coming on here, right?
Yeah, that's the whole point. Send me your resume. I'm more than happy to help and understand learn a little bit more about you, what you're looking to do, and go from there.
Okay. And again, James, reach out to me on LinkedIn. We can go a little bit more into the whole clearance base. And again, yes, East Coast, it matters where you're at. If you're looking at more DC area and stuff like that, you have a lot of major DoD players in that area. So you're going to be limited more or less. But if you go out to say Dallas, Texas, or Wyoming, or somewhere non-military, like big military installations, you're typically not see as much of a requirement for that clearance. And Don, did you have anything else? Any closing remarks? Anything?
As far as resumes go, obviously you want to play with the right, with the right setting of stuff. I always encourage people who are entry level, have an objective, have a nice, concise objective as to what you're trying to achieve in your career. put in those keywords as far as like your technical skills go, what you've worked with, and then your experience. Where have you worked? Do you have any internships that or maybe side projects that you've done, or even potentially meetups that are cyber related that you go to and frequent on a regular basis. Those things will pop out more toward hiring managers and HR professionals and recruiters like myself, more than anything else. And that's what you want to do in this type of market.
Awesome. And Don, thank you again. And I'm sure the person that reached out to you about the SOC analyst, I'm sure he's going to be connected to you pretty momentarily.
Okay, hey, that's great. I'm fine with that. Thank you.
I got one last question
Yes,
from Bob again. He said, what additional things should a person looking to cross over from network engineering look to add to their resume? Do you want to take a stab at that?
Yeah, I mean, if he has experience, he or she has experience in the field, network engineering, you may want to consider looking at getting your CISSP or some other cyber-related certifications, because that will be a clear indicator to anyone in your looking at your resume, or maybe taking a look at your LinkedIn profile, that you're serious about wanting getting into information security. CISSP is a long process, and usually people need experience in order to obtain it. But take a look at anything that's out there that maybe pique your interest. There's always additional certifications they can get, like the GSEC or OSCP or CISA, CRISC, the GIAC certified incident handler. There's a myriad of them out there, but what seems to pop up more and more, people who have their CISSPs seem to get noticed a lot quicker.
So I got a couple more questions. So Bob did answer back saying he does have a CISP, so I told him to talk to me on LinkedIn, so he's already responded back with that. I'm sure I'll be connected with him soon. So I got two more questions, and then we'll kind of I got more and more viewers are popping in now. So Chris is asking, I was in a social security group, and one of the managers said he would normally ask about home labs and what you have in your home lab. How would you play what you internally have, let's say VMs, whatever you're playing, possibly having at your lab, into an actual resume? That's like that link that he's trying to build is, I have all this at the house, but how do I equate that onto a resume to say I use X,
It's easy to do on LinkedIn. With an actual resume, it's a little bit more challenging. You could possibly put that under, let's say, personal activities or professional growth or hobbies. I've seen people do that. So when you're going down the list and looking at your credentials, at the end you see hobbies, and and there's someone that has their home lab. There may be attacking Docker or something, or trying to defend Docker and the containers. That will pop out. That will pop out greatly, in my opinion. So it's just a matter of being able to highlight and position it, so that way people see it.
TS2, I didn't get the name. They're saying that the problem they're encountering is, I possess nearly 20 years of help desk experience. I'm looking to transition into the cybersecurity field. They have completed Security Plus, GISF, A Plus, and now working on Cyber Plus. That's their challenge. Is there anything else they could possibly do, or are they kind of at a good baseline to actually start that search? I think they should be at a good baseline.
They got a great baseline. The only thing that I would encourage them to do, if they're feeling like they're not getting any traction in their job search, is to go out and see if there's any meetups that they could attend, and network with those type of professionals. I mean, there's seriously tons out there. If you even just go to Meetup and type in cybersecurity or information security, there's ones in New York, then there's quite a few in DC, all over the place. So that is where I would take my career goals next, is out there and learning what everyone else does, and see if you can leverage your network.
And again, as Don mentioned, maybe your resume or your profile isn't kind of hitting that search that people are looking for, or is not actually feeding into the bot that's scrubbing it. Because if you're going through a lot of major corporations, if
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't have those keywords, one or two keywords in there, it's kind of going to get tossed out. So he had earlier on said, do link up with him and reach out to him on here, and he'll give you a little helping hand through that process.
Mm-hmm.
So, and his details are below, and if not, message me and I'll link the two together.
Great.
Don,
Yes.
I said before we even started, thank you for your time.
No problem.
I think this about 25 minutes we ran. I think a lot of people got a good piece of information out of this, and there's going to be a few people messaging you right now.
That's fine. I'll be on. I might peter out a little bit around 9 p.m. Eastern, but we'll pick it back up in the morning.
Awesome.
Okay.
And with that, thank you for tuning in to Cybersecurity Connection, where we connect you to a new recruiter focused on cybersecurity each and every night. Link to the job website and contact information is below. See you again tomorrow night.